Act as if nothing bothers you. Denzel Washington, Stoicism. Peace begins when you choose not to allow external noise to disrupt your inner calm. Let me ask you something. How often have you allowed someone else's words, their opinions, or actions to steer the course of your entire day? How often have you let a fleeting moment of anger or frustration morph into hours of stress, or allowed one negative comment to sit heavy on your mind like an immovable weight? Life is filled with moments designed to challenge you. People, circumstances, and situations will test your patience, try to rattle you, and break your focus. But here's the real question. Will you let them succeed, or will you harness the power of acting as if nothing bothers you? Because, make no mistake, that is the key to regaining your power and maintaining control over your life. I've spent years observing and learning, both from the spotlight and behind the scenes, surrounded by doubters, critics, and those who told me what I couldn't achieve. And here's one of the most powerful lessons I've learned. You must act as if nothing bothers you. Now, don't misunderstand. This isn't about turning a blind eye to reality or pretending your problems don't exist. No, it's about mastering the art of protecting your energy, staying calm, and remaining centered when life tries to shake you. People will always have opinions. They will criticize, judge, and project their own insecurities onto you. That's just the way it is. And the higher you ascend, the more intense that noise becomes. But here's what you need to understand. If you allow every remark, every side-eye glance, every bit of negativity to seep into your soul, you'll crumble under the weight. You'll find yourself carrying the burden of other people's insecurities, often without even realizing it. So, learn to walk through life as if nothing bothers you. Carry that sense of peace within you, no matter how turbulent the storm outside. Remember, the things that aim to unsettle you only possess as much power as you grant them. You choose how much space they occupy in your mind, how much weight they place on your shoulders. You're in control. Welcome to Stoic in Your Life, where we explore how to live resiliently, with intention, and unbothered by the noise. Lesson 1. Do not let others control your emotions. How often have you found yourself caught in the snare of someone else's opinions or actions, letting their negativity set the tone for your day? Think about it. How many times have you allowed a single comment, a passing judgment, or even a subtle insult to dictate your mood and drain your energy? It's a common struggle, one that can trap even the most composed individuals. But here lies an essential truth that resonates through the ages, from ancient Stoic wisdom to the modern-day resilience of leaders like Denzel Washington. The importance of not letting others control your emotions. In life, we encounter countless moments when people, circumstances, and situations will challenge our peace of mind. They will test your patience, prod at your weaknesses, and sometimes even aim to pull you down. The key question becomes, will you let them succeed, or will you embody the Stoic practice of maintaining control over your own emotional state? As Epictetus once said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This perspective is vital in understanding that while you cannot control external events, you can master your reaction to them. Denzel Washington has spoken about acting as if nothing bothers you, a powerful strategy that goes beyond mere pretense. It's about cultivating a mindset where you protect your peace, remain grounded, and project calm even in the face of turbulence. This isn't denial or escapism, it's an assertion of strength and control over your life. To practice this, start by recognizing when your emotions are being hijacked by external forces. Ask yourself if the negative comment or disapproving glance truly deserves your energy. Often, you'll find that the answer is no. Remember, the opinions of others are often reflections of their own insecurities and limitations, not your reality. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment, wrote Marcus Aurelius, reminding us that the interpretation we give to external triggers is what shapes our emotional landscape. Maintaining emotional control is not about suppressing your feelings or pretending that everything is fine when it's not. Instead, it's about understanding your emotions, acknowledging them, and choosing not to let them control your actions. Picture yourself in a situation where someone's criticism tempts you to react defensively or angrily. Before responding, pause. Take a deep breath and ask, "Is this worth my peace?" Most of the time, you'll find that it isn't. Acting as if nothing bothers you means holding on to your peace like it's a treasure, because it is. It's the foundation of your clarity, decision-making, and resilience. Seneca put it well. He who is brave is free. To remain emotionally unbothered is an act of courage and freedom. In modern life, with its fast-paced interactions and constant digital noise, the ability to stay centered and unbothered is more critical than ever. Every day, social media, workplace dynamics, and personal relationships can become arenas of judgment and provocation. But by choosing to respond rather than react, you position yourself as the director of your narrative, not a player manipulated by external scripts. Control your emotions, or they will control you, cautions an old saying. This holds true across every sphere, from boardrooms to living rooms. This doesn't mean living without emotions. It means mastering them. There's immense power in feeling anger, disappointment, or frustration, but deciding not to let it dictate your behavior. A storm may rage outside, but inside, you can cultivate stillness. Maintaining this composure can be intimidating to others because it signals that you're not easily swayed, that you stand firm in who you are and what you value. It's a subtle but powerful form of influence. To deepen your practice of remaining unbothered, take time for self-reflection and mindfulness. Meditate on your core values and priorities. This way, when the inevitable storms come, you're anchored by a deep understanding of what truly matters. Denzel Washington exemplifies this in his life and speeches, highlighting the importance of acting with purpose and staying true to oneself despite the noise. "Don't aspire to make a living, aspire to make a difference," he once said. It's a reminder that focusing on what aligns with your higher goals helps filter out what is inconsequential. Think of this practice as building an internal fortress. No one can reach or disrupt the peace you hold within unless you grant them access. When faced with negativity, visualize your response as a conscious choice. Instead of letting your emotions flare up uncontrollably, remind yourself that reacting impulsively is akin to giving someone else the keys to your mind. Protect those keys, for they guard your most valuable asset, your peace of mind. Remember that life will continue to present challenges and people will always have something to say. However, when you choose to act as if nothing bothers you, you reclaim your power and set a standard for how others will treat you. You teach yourself to thrive, not just survive, and inspire others with your unyielding composure. "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality," Seneca said, pointing to the truth that our response shapes our experience more than the event itself. So, when faced with life's next test, hold your head high, protect your peace, and act as if nothing bothers you, because most of the time, it's not worth it. Lesson 2. Act as if nothing bothers you. You cannot control what happens to you, but you can control your attitude toward what happens to you, and in that, you will be mastering change rather than allowing it to master you. This wisdom from Brian Tracy captures the essence of what it means to act as if nothing bothers you, a practice championed by Denzel Washington and rooted deeply in Stoicism. Let's face it, life is unpredictable, and no matter who you are, you will encounter situations and people that push you to your limits. But the question is, will you let those moments disrupt your peace, or will you stand firm and maintain control over your emotions? How many times have you let a single critical comment ruin an entire day, or allowed a minor inconvenience to snowball into overwhelming frustration? It happens more often than we'd like to admit, doesn't it? However, learning to act as if nothing bothers you is not about pretending challenges don't exist or suppressing your feelings. It's about choosing how you respond. By mastering your reactions, you become resilient, capable of facing adversity without letting it consume you. Consider the story of a man who worked tirelessly to build his career, facing judgment and doubt from peers and even loved ones. Despite every setback, criticism, and whispered doubt, he chose to keep moving forward with an unbothered demeanor. He didn't let the noise distract him, and in the end, his composure led to his success. You might be wondering, how can I achieve that level of inner calm when everything seems to pull me in different directions? It begins with shifting your focus. Instead of reacting immediately to negativity, take a moment to pause and breathe. When you allow yourself that space, you take back control. Denzel Washington once said, "You'll never be criticized by someone who is doing more than you. You'll only be criticized by someone doing less." These words remind us that external judgments often come from those who project their own insecurities. Now think about how acting as if nothing bothers you can apply to your daily life. Picture yourself at work, surrounded by colleagues who are quick to point out mistakes or amplify stress. What if, instead of reacting defensively, you responded with calm and poise? What if you saw each comment as just that, a comment, not a verdict on your worth or capability? This doesn't mean you become indifferent to feedback or stop striving for improvement. It means you don't let negativity disrupt your focus. The next time someone challenges you, ask yourself, is this truly worth my peace? Most often the answer will be no. This shift in mindset doesn't happen overnight. But with practice, you will find that maintaining composure helps you navigate life with clarity and strength. One practical way to embody this lesson is to practice mindfulness. Mindfulness teaches you to observe your emotions without becoming entangled in them. Let's say you receive harsh criticism during a meeting. Instead of letting it sting and simmer all day, acknowledge it, learn what you can, and move on. As Marcus Aurelius advised, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Modern life is rife with situations that test this practice. From stressful commutes filled with honking horns and impatient drivers, to social media platforms where the opinions of others can flood your mind within seconds. How you choose to engage with these daily challenges defines whether you stay centered or let them chip away at your peace. Ask yourself, when was the last time you let someone's negativity influence your day? Was it a rude customer at work? A passive-aggressive comment on a post? Or maybe a friend's cynical outlook during a conversation? These are moments when acting as if nothing bothers you can set you apart. It's not about bottling up emotions, but about mastering the art of response over reaction. Your peace of mind is a powerful asset, one that, when guarded, allows you to make better decisions and maintain a sense of purpose. Think about those who inspire you, people who seem unflappable, who move through life's storms with grace. They aren't superhuman. They have simply honed the skill of emotional control. Denzel Washington's approach to life, rooted in discipline and resilience, teaches us that true power comes from maintaining control in the face of provocation. He embodies a modern Stoic philosophy, emphasizing that while emotions are natural, letting them dictate our actions is a choice. If you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything, Washington has said, underscoring the importance of staying rooted in your values. The lesson is clear. Acting as if nothing bothers you doesn't mean you're detached or unfeeling. It means you prioritize your peace and protect it fiercely. When you choose to master your responses, you not only strengthen yourself, but inspire those around you. The world will always have its noise, critics, challenges, and unpredictable events, but how you respond to it defines your journey. The next time life throws you a curveball, pause, breathe, and ask, is this worth my energy? More often than not, you'll find that it isn't. Remember, true strength lies in remaining steady amidst chaos, and as you cultivate this practice, you'll realize that your peace is your greatest power. Lesson 3. Protect your energy. You don't have to turn this into something. It doesn't have to upset you. Marcus Aurelius. Let's talk about a crucial lesson in life: protecting your energy. Have you ever stopped to consider how many times you allow other people's actions or opinions to drain your energy? Perhaps it's a colleague's critical remark, an unfriendly stranger's behavior, or even a friend's negative outlook that leaves you feeling exhausted or anxious. The truth is, your energy is one of your most precious resources. The way you guard it can determine not only how you respond to daily challenges, but how you shape your entire journey. So, how can you make sure that the world around you doesn't dictate how you feel inside? This is where the power of protecting your energy comes in, a practice that Denzel Washington and ancient Stoics have championed alike. Denzel Washington once said, "You pray for rain, you gotta deal with the mud too, that's a part of it." Life is filled with moments of challenge, setbacks, and noise from those who wish to see you stumble. But just because chaos surrounds you doesn't mean you need to let it seep into your spirit. The first step to protecting your energy is understanding that not every battle is yours to fight. When someone's negativity attempts to pull you into a whirlwind of emotional reactions, pause and ask yourself, is this worth my peace? More often than not, the answer will be no. The ability to recognize what deserves your attention and what doesn't is where real strength lies. Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher, put it clearly when he said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This simple shift in mindset can transform how you interact with the world and how much power you allow others to have over your state of mind. Imagine a day where you decide not to let the frustrations of traffic, an impatient coworker, or a snide remark from a family member disrupt your inner peace. Think about how different that day would feel, how much clearer your mind would be, and how much more energy you'd have for what truly matters. Protecting your energy is not about ignoring reality or suppressing your emotions. It's about learning how to engage with the world without being consumed by it. You can acknowledge that you feel irritated or disappointed without letting that feeling control you. As Viktor Frankl once said, between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. Ask yourself, what drains your energy the most? Is it the relentless pursuit of validation from others? The constant need to react to every negative comment or slight? Recognizing these energy leaks is essential. Protecting your energy means deciding where your focus goes, because where focus goes, energy flows. Have you noticed that people who seem unbothered by external drama move through life with a certain confidence? That's because they've learned that not every situation deserves their emotional investment. This doesn't mean they don't care. It means they care about the right things. They choose to direct their energy towards what uplifts and fuels their purpose, not what depletes it. In today's world, it's easy to be bombarded by distractions, both big and small. Social media can pull you into a vortex of opinions, comparisons, and criticism that chip away at your peace bit by bit. So how do you navigate this without becoming numb or detached? The answer lies in boundaries. Setting boundaries isn't selfish, it's an act of self-respect. You have the right to distance yourself from situations or people who drain you, even if that means being perceived as indifferent. After all, as the famous saying goes, you can't pour from an empty cup. Protecting your energy allows you to be fully present for the things and people that matter most. Think about the times when you've been most at peace. What did those moments look like? Maybe it was during a quiet morning walk, a deep conversation with someone who truly understands you, or when you were immersed in a project that ignited your passion. These moments happen when your energy isn't scattered by external noise. The more you practice saying no to what drains you, the more you can say yes to what nourishes you. When challenges come, and they always will, remind yourself that reacting out of impulse only hands your power to others. Instead, take that pause, protect your peace, and choose your response with intention. The next time you're faced with negativity or chaos, remember that you have the strength to stay composed. When a coworker tries to provoke you or when someone cuts you off in traffic, consider, will responding in anger help you, or will it just waste your energy? Denzel Washington's resilience is a testament to how acting as if nothing bothers you can serve as a protective shield, allowing you to keep moving forward. The world will always try to test your patience, but your reaction is your choice. Protecting your energy doesn't make you weak, it makes you wise. It means you've chosen to hold on to your power, to direct it toward what builds you up and away from what drags you down. So, take this as a reminder. Your energy is yours to guard. The noise will always be there, and people will always have opinions. But the choice to engage with it, to let it affect you, is ultimately yours. As Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." Prioritize your peace, set boundaries that protect it, and remember that in protecting your energy, you are setting the stage for a life lived with clarity, purpose, and fulfillment. What will you choose to let in today? Lesson 4. Stay focused on your purpose. When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love, wrote Marcus Aurelius. This mindset serves as a powerful reminder that staying focused on your purpose is essential for living a meaningful and resilient life. Life is full of distractions, opinions from others, unexpected setbacks, and the noise of a constantly moving world. But have you ever asked yourself what would happen if you allowed every little distraction to pull you off course? The truth is, if you don't keep your eyes fixed on your goals, you'll find yourself drifting aimlessly, spending your time reacting instead of creating. Staying focused on your purpose requires discipline, resilience, and an understanding of what truly matters. It's not about ignoring the realities of life, but about choosing where to invest your attention and energy. Denzel Washington, known for his powerful speeches and unwavering demeanor, once said, "You'll never be criticized by someone who is doing more than you. You'll only be criticized by someone doing less." This speaks volumes about the importance of filtering out the noise and focusing on your own path. Why allow those who aren't contributing to your growth to pull you down? It's crucial to realize that people who throw negativity your way are often grappling with their own insecurities. Their judgments, doubts, and attempts to derail you are not about you but about them. When you understand this, you reclaim the power to choose how you respond and where you channel your energy. Ask yourself, is this comment, this opinion, or this challenge worth my peace and focus? Most often the answer is no. And it's in recognizing this that you begin to build the mental fortress needed to stay focused on your purpose. Staying centered in your mission also requires developing an unyielding sense of clarity. Think about the people who inspire you, those who seem to move through life with a sense of determination and calm, who know exactly what they're working toward and don't let distractions shake their resolve. These individuals aren't devoid of challenges, they've simply learned to prioritize their purpose over the noise. As Epictetus, a revered Stoic philosopher, once said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." This simple wisdom underscores the need to define your mission and then commit to it, no matter what. In today's world, where social media, constant notifications, and endless streams of opinions vie for your attention, this advice is more valuable than ever. When you focus on your purpose, you're choosing to invest your energy into what aligns with your values and goals, rather than being swayed by external pressures or fleeting emotions. Consider the modern-day scenario of scrolling through social media, where opinions, judgments, and comparisons can easily pull you off course. Each time you let these distractions shift your focus, you're allowing outside forces to control your inner world. But what if, instead, you chose to stay grounded, kept your focus on your work, your passion, and your life's mission? How much more could you achieve? How much more peace would you have? As Steve Jobs once put it, your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Maintaining focus also involves accepting that setbacks are part of the journey. You're not going to have a perfect path. There will be failures, doubts, and moments where you question if you're on the right track. In those moments, Remind yourself of why you started. Keep in mind that obstacles are not meant to push you off course, but to refine your determination and teach you resilience. Denzel Washington's life story is filled with moments where he faced rejection and doubt, but his unwavering focus kept him moving forward. He famously said, "I'd be more frightened by not using whatever abilities I'd been given. I'd be more frightened by procrastination and laziness." This reminds us that the real danger lies not in failure, but in losing sight of our goals and letting distractions win. Now ask yourself, what keeps you going when life tests you? Is it the approval of others, or the deep intrinsic motivation to achieve what truly matters to you? Staying focused on your purpose means building habits that reinforce your commitment, from setting aside time for daily reflection to ensuring that the activities you engage in contribute to your growth. It's about being deliberate in your choices, choosing actions that align with your larger goals. As you navigate your day, ask yourself, is this bringing me closer to or further from my purpose? This practice of mindfulness can help keep distractions at bay. Staying focused doesn't mean avoiding all interactions or shutting yourself off from the world. It means knowing how to prioritize and protect your energy. Engage with people and tasks that uplift you and push you forward. When criticism or negativity arises, respond like the calm sea. Acknowledge the ripple, but don't let it become a wave that disrupts your course. Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Staying focused on your purpose is about valuing your time, your vision, and your life enough to not let the noise distract you. It's about understanding that while life will always have challenges, your response is what defines your journey. Remember, when you choose purpose over distraction, you're not just surviving, you're thriving. So next time life throws you a curveball or someone tries to pull you into their chaos, pause, breathe, and refocus. Ask yourself, is this worth my energy? Most of the time it won't be, and you'll realize that your true power lies in holding steadfast to your mission. So, what will you choose to focus on today? Thank you for joining me in today's video. Your presence here means a lot, and I hope the insights shared resonate with you. As we continue, I'd love to hear your thoughts. How do you practice staying unbothered and maintaining your inner peace when faced with challenges? If you're unsure of what to write, you could share a moment when acting unbothered helped you, or describe a situation where you learned to choose peace over conflict. Let's keep this conversation going in the comments below. Your experiences and reflections could inspire others on their journey to personal growth and resilience. Now let's move to the next lesson. Lesson 5. Acknowledge emotions but don't let them control you. Have you ever felt that rush of anger or frustration take over when someone cuts you off in traffic or makes a sharp comment at work? We've all been there, caught in that moment where emotions seem to surge like a wave ready to crash, threatening to sweep us away. The truth is, emotions are natural and inevitable. They are part of being human. But the real power lies in how you handle them. Acknowledging your emotions doesn't mean you let them run the show. It means recognizing what you're feeling without letting those emotions dictate your actions or control your response. This is where you step into the space between stimulus and response, as Viktor Frankl famously pointed out. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. Consider a story that many of us can relate to. You're at work, and a colleague unfairly criticizes your efforts in a meeting. Instinctively, you feel your chest tighten, your face flush, and anger start to rise. Your first impulse might be to lash out, defend yourself sharply, or withdraw and stew over it for the rest of the day. But what if instead, you took a deep breath and acknowledged that initial reaction without acting on it? You could say to yourself, I feel angry because this criticism feels unjust, but I don't need to react impulsively. This simple act of acknowledgement creates a pause, a moment of power where you decide how to proceed. Responding calmly allows you to maintain control over the situation and protect your peace of mind. It's essential to remember that not letting emotions control you doesn't mean suppressing or ignoring them. Suppressed emotions don't disappear, they fester and often resurface in harmful ways. Instead, acknowledge your feelings, understand why you're experiencing them, and then choose a response that aligns with your true values and goals. Denzel Washington has touched on this wisdom through his own life experiences, emphasizing the power of composure and focus. Ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship, he said, underscoring that enduring challenges, even emotional ones, is a path to growth. Think about the moments in your life where you let emotions dictate your behavior. How often did that serve you well in the long run? Maybe you reacted angrily to a friend's comment and later regretted it, or perhaps you let anxiety over an uncertain outcome paralyze you, stopping you from taking necessary steps. When you react impulsively, you give your power away to the very circumstances or people who triggered your emotions in the first place. The key is to ask yourself, is this emotion serving me? Is this reaction going to bring me closer to who I want to be? Most times, you'll find that reacting without reflection only adds fuel to the fire. In modern life, where stressors come at us from all directions, work deadlines, family obligations, financial pressures, emotional mastery is more relevant than ever. Social media alone can be a minefield of emotional triggers. One scroll, and you're comparing your life to someone else's highlight reel, feeling angered by a divisive post, or letting a critical comment gnaw at your confidence. How do you handle these emotions? Do you let them consume your thoughts and actions, or do you acknowledge them, learn from them, and move on? Remember, learning to master your emotions is a practice, not an instant transformation. Start small. The next time you feel frustration bubbling up, whether it's from a late train, an unfair judgment, or a difficult conversation, pause. Take a deep breath and mentally label what you're feeling. I am angry, or I am anxious. Recognizing and naming your emotions helps to detach from them slightly, allowing you to respond instead of react. Marcus Aurelius advised, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment. This teaches us that the true challenge is in changing our perspective on what triggers our emotions. A story comes to mind about a friend who once struggled with being reactive at work. He'd get defensive any time his boss gave him feedback, taking it as a personal affront rather than an opportunity for growth. One day, after a particularly tense meeting, he decided to change his approach. Instead of reacting immediately, he paused, acknowledged his defensiveness, and chose to ask clarifying questions. This shift not only improved his relationships with colleagues, but also reduced his stress and made him more effective in his role. He realized that emotions were signals, not directives, something to learn from, not obey blindly. So how can you start applying this lesson in your life? Next time an emotion wells up, try this. Acknowledge it, take a few deep breaths, and ask yourself, what's the best action I can take at this moment? This simple practice can shift the course of your day, interactions, and overall well-being. Acting as if nothing bothers you doesn't mean being emotionless. It means recognizing that your emotions are yours to guide, not to be guided by. The goal is not perfection, but progress. Each time you pause and choose your response, you strengthen that muscle of resilience. In the end, the greatest power lies in mastering yourself. For as Seneca said, no man is free who is not master of himself. So, the next time life tests you, remember that acknowledging your emotions without letting them control you isn't just a lesson in self-restraint. It's an act of wisdom and strength that propels you closer to living life on your terms. Lesson 6. Choose peace over chaos. Choosing peace over chaos is not just a saying, it's a daily practice that can transform the way you live your life. First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do, said Epictetus, reminding us that true inner peace starts with a decision. But how often do we let the chaos around us dictate how we feel and react? From a sudden disagreement with a colleague to the overwhelming stream of news and notifications, life has a way of throwing distractions and provocations at us. Yet here's the question. Will you let that chaos pull you off balance, or will you choose to remain calm and collected? Denzel Washington's message about acting as if nothing bothers you is not about pretending life is perfect, but about cultivating the strength to maintain peace amidst the noise. He once said, "You pray for rain, you gotta deal with the mud too. That's a part of it." This means accepting life's inevitable difficulties without letting them disrupt your inner calm. Imagine you're driving home after a long day, and someone cuts you off, causing your heart to race with anger. Your first instinct might be to honk, shout, or let the irritation simmer for the rest of your journey. But what if, instead, you paused and asked yourself, is this worth my peace? Choosing peace over chaos means deciding that your energy is too valuable to be wasted on fleeting frustrations. This principle applies not only to traffic incidents but to conflicts at work, arguments with friends, or unexpected setbacks. It's easy to let chaos dictate your emotions, but the real power lies in taking a step back and choosing how you respond. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This reminder reinforces that while we can't always control what happens around us, we can control how we let it affect us. Think about a time when you allowed a minor inconvenience to ruin your mood. Maybe it was an offhand comment from someone or a delay in your plans. Did holding on to that frustration help you in any way? Most likely it only added stress and made your day feel heavier. Choosing peace over chaos is not about being indifferent. It's about knowing what truly deserves your energy. When you let every small issue disrupt your peace, you give away your power piece by piece. On the other hand, when you choose to remain unbothered, you keep that power within yourself. It's like building an invisible shield that keeps the chaos out while allowing you to move forward with clarity. Seneca's words, "He who is brave is free," resonate here. It takes courage to stay peaceful when the world around you is anything but calm. One modern-day story that highlights this lesson involves a business leader who was known for his calm demeanor, even in the most stressful situations. Whether it was a major project delay or harsh criticism from peers, he maintained a steady, composed reaction. His team often asked, "How do you stay so unbothered?" His answer was simple, "I choose where to place my focus." By prioritizing solutions and keeping his mind clear of unnecessary emotional noise, he led with purpose and set an example for others. Now think about how this applies to your life. What could you achieve if you directed your energy toward solutions instead of dwelling on problems? How would your relationships improve if you didn't let small arguments escalate? When you choose peace over chaos, you're not only preserving your energy, you're also creating an environment where progress and meaningful connections can thrive. This practice becomes even more vital in our digital age, where chaos is just a tap away. Social media, news alerts, and constant connectivity can make peace feel like a luxury. Yet, it's precisely in these moments that the choice becomes most important. When you scroll through posts filled with arguments, divisive comments, or bad news, ask yourself, does engaging with this serve my peace? More often than not, disengaging is the wiser choice. That's not to say you should ignore everything around you, but rather, be selective with what deserves your attention. As Denzel Washington once said, "Don't aspire to make a living, aspire to make a difference." This difference starts with how you manage your inner world. So how do you cultivate this peace in practical terms? Start by pausing before you react. Whether it's an irritating message or a stressful situation, take a breath and evaluate if responding emotionally will help or hinder you. Practice mindfulness techniques, like grounding yourself in the present moment, or visualizing a place that brings you calm. Surround yourself with people who uplift and encourage you, and distance yourself from those who thrive on chaos. Reflect on Marcus Aurelius's question, is this necessary? Apply this to your interactions, your worries, and your thoughts. Choosing peace over chaos is a journey, not a one-time decision. There will be days when the noise feels overwhelming and moments when you're tempted to react impulsively. But with practice, you'll find that staying centered becomes more natural. Remember that peace doesn't mean the absence of conflict. It means having the strength to remain calm in the face of it. The next time life tests you, and it will, pause and remind yourself that true power comes from within. By choosing peace, you're choosing clarity, strength, and control over your own life. As you move forward, ask yourself, are you going to let the chaos control you, or are you going to control your response? The choice is yours, and with that choice comes a profound sense of freedom and empowerment. Lesson 7. Avoid carrying other people's baggage. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality, said Seneca, highlighting a timeless truth that connects to an essential life lesson. Avoid carrying other people's baggage. How often do you find yourself burdened by the emotions, expectations, or problems of others? Maybe a friend unloads their frustrations onto you, and suddenly, you're carrying their worries on your shoulders for the rest of the day. Or perhaps a coworker's negativity seeps into your thoughts, making their stress your own. The question is, how do you navigate these interactions while maintaining your peace and mental clarity? This is where the principle of not carrying others' baggage comes in, a practice rooted in both Stoicism and modern wisdom. Denzel Washington's belief in acting as if nothing bothers you embodies this idea, not as a sign of indifference, but as a strategy for protecting your well-being. Life will always present moments where others' burdens are placed in your path, whether through unsolicited opinions, emotional venting, or the silent expectation that you'll absorb their stress. The challenge lies in recognizing when your support shifts from being helpful to being an unnecessary weight that drains your energy. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, advised, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This applies not just to external events, but to the influence of other people's issues. When you allow yourself to be consumed by the negativity or anxieties of others, you relinquish control over your emotional state. Have you ever walked away from a conversation feeling inexplicably drained, only to realize you've been carrying someone else's emotional baggage? This is why it's crucial to establish boundaries that enable you to offer empathy and support without sacrificing your peace. Think of it this way: life is like a long journey, and everyone carries their own backpack filled with challenges, worries, and responsibilities. When you start picking up other people's bags, you soon find yourself overwhelmed, unable to move forward under the weight. Choosing not to carry others' burdens doesn't mean you lack compassion. It means you're preserving your strength so that you can be present and supportive when it truly matters. Denzel Washington once said, "Don't let someone else's baggage become your burden," a reminder that while we can care for others, we must not let their struggles consume us. How does this apply in modern life? Picture yourself at work. A colleague is venting about an ongoing project issue, their frustration palpable, and their words heavy with tension. You listen, nod, and offer understanding. But instead of walking away with their burden added to yours, you consciously choose to acknowledge their stress without internalizing it. This practice of emotional detachment doesn't mean you don't care. It means you're safeguarding your mental space. In personal relationships, this principle is just as important. Friends and family members will inevitably go through tough times, and while it's natural to provide a listening ear and a helping hand, it's also essential to protect your energy. Ask yourself, am I helping this person by carrying their emotional load, or am I enabling them to pass their stress on to me? Often, being a pillar of support means holding space for others while staying grounded in your own peace. Maintaining this balance requires self-awareness and practice. The next time you find yourself absorbing someone else's worries, pause and reflect. Take a deep breath and remind yourself that their journey is separate from yours. Marcus Aurelius, another Stoic philosopher, noted, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This power allows you to stay empathetic without becoming entangled in the emotional states of those around you. Consider how much more effective and supportive you could be if you maintained your inner calm. When you don't carry others' emotional baggage, you can offer clearer advice, be more present, and serve as a true source of stability for those who need it. Let's take a look at a story that illustrates this principle. A manager known for his calm demeanor once worked in an environment filled with high stress and rapid changes. Team members often came to him with complaints, expecting him to take on their frustrations. Instead of letting their anxiety pull him down, he listened intently, validated their concerns, and guided them towards solutions, all while maintaining his composure. When asked how he managed to stay unflustered, he said, "I remind myself that while I can steer the ship, I can't take on every storm." This mindset not only preserved his peace but also set an example for his team, showing them that strength lies in resilience, not in absorbing every problem. Applying this to your own life, ask yourself what boundaries you need to set to protect your mental space. Can you still be a supportive friend, partner, or colleague without taking on emotional loads that aren't yours to carry? Absolutely. It starts with recognizing when you're moving from empathy to emotional burden. When you feel the weight of others' issues settling on you, take a moment to ground yourself. Breathe and remind yourself that you can be caring without sacrificing your peace. Choosing not to carry other people's baggage is a form of self-respect. It allows you to keep your energy for what truly matters, your goals, your peace, and your growth. As you practice this, you'll find that not only do you feel lighter, but you're also better equipped to offer meaningful support to those around you. Remember, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. As Marcus Aurelius said, protect your thoughts, guard your peace, and avoid the unnecessary weight of carrying burdens that don't belong to you. So, the next time someone approaches you with their worries, ask yourself, will I choose to support them while staying anchored, or will I let their baggage become mine? Choose wisely, because the path to true peace begins with that very decision. If you've made it this far, you're truly committed to mastering your inner peace. Drop a comment saying, "I choose peace," to show you're dedicated to this powerful journey of resilience and growth. Stay tuned, there's more wisdom coming your way. Lesson 8. Build mental resilience. Building mental resilience is essential if you want to navigate life's ups and downs without being constantly swayed by external events or the opinions of others. Denzel Washington once said, "Ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship," which is a powerful reminder that true strength is forged in moments of challenge, not comfort. But what does mental resilience really mean, and how can you build it? At its core, mental resilience is your ability to recover quickly from setbacks, adapt to difficult circumstances, and keep moving forward with determination. It's not about pretending that everything is fine or ignoring your emotions. It's about acknowledging them and choosing not to let them control you. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic emperor, taught, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This timeless lesson encourages us to focus on what we can control, our thoughts, reactions, and attitude, and let go of what we cannot. Think back to a time when something unexpected happened, a missed opportunity, a criticism that stung, or a situation that didn't go as planned. Did you let it consume your day or even your week, or did you find a way to move past it? Building mental resilience means choosing the latter. It's about training yourself to pause when things go wrong and reflect before reacting. For example, a friend once faced a major professional setback when a project he had worked on for months was rejected. At first, he felt defeated, doubting his abilities, and replaying the disappointment in his head. But instead of letting it hold him back, he took a step back, analyzed what he could learn from the experience, and used it as motivation to improve. Within a few months, he approached a similar project with new insights and achieved outstanding success. This shift from feeling like a victim to seeing challenges as opportunities for growth is what building resilience is all about. You might be wondering, how can you start cultivating this kind of mental toughness in your own life? It begins with changing your perspective. When you encounter a challenge, ask yourself, is this setback permanent, or can I learn from it? Most of the time, the answer is the latter. Denzel Washington's words, fall forward. Every failed experiment is one step closer to success. Highlight the importance of viewing failures as steps in your journey rather than endpoints. Resilient people understand that failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of it. By embracing this mindset, you learn to see obstacles as temporary and manageable. Building mental resilience also involves developing habits that strengthen your mind. Regularly practicing mindfulness and gratitude can shift your focus from what's going wrong to what's within your control and what's going well. Mindfulness helps you stay present and calm, even during stressful situations, while gratitude reminds you of the positive aspects of your life. When things feel overwhelming, taking a moment to breathe deeply and remind yourself of what you're thankful for can ground you and help you respond more effectively. Remember Seneca's words, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." This means that many of the worries and fears that cloud our minds never actually come to pass, and focusing on the present can ease that burden. In the fast-paced world we live in, filled with responsibilities, social pressures, and constant digital noise, mental resilience is more important than ever. Picture facing an unexpected criticism at work or an argument with a loved one. How you respond can make all the difference. Do you dwell on it, letting it fester and affect your mood for days? Or do you acknowledge it, learn from it if necessary, and move forward? The choice to respond with resilience requires practice, but it's one of the most empowering habits you can build. Start by practicing self-talk that uplifts rather than undermines you. When you catch yourself thinking, "I can't handle this," reframe it to, "This is difficult, but I will find a way through." This shift reinforces the belief that you are capable of handling more than you might think. Finally, one of the most significant aspects of building mental resilience is knowing when to take a break and allow yourself to rest. Resilience doesn't mean pushing through exhaustion without pause. It means understanding that rest is part of progress. Marcus Aurelius himself emphasized, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." Taking time for yourself to recharge, whether through solitude, hobbies, or spending time in nature, strengthens your mind and prepares you for future challenges. The lesson here is that resilience is not just about enduring, it's about learning, growing, and coming back stronger. Ask yourself, what would change in your life if you started viewing challenges as opportunities to build resilience rather than as reasons to feel defeated? When you embrace this approach, you'll find that acting as if nothing bothers you isn't just a facade. It's a genuine reflection of the strength you've cultivated within. Lesson 9. Set boundaries. Setting boundaries is an essential part of living a balanced and fulfilling life, and it's one of the most powerful ways to protect your mental and emotional well-being. When Denzel Washington speaks about acting as if nothing bothers you, it's not about being indifferent or cold. It's about maintaining control over your inner peace. But how do you do that in a world that constantly demands your attention and energy? The answer lies in setting boundaries. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This insight perfectly illustrates that boundaries help you safeguard your mind from the chaos and demands of the external world. So how do you set these boundaries without feeling guilty or worrying about how others perceive you? It begins with understanding that boundaries are not about shutting people out. They're about creating a space where you can thrive, be your best self, and maintain your energy for what truly matters. Think about your daily life. How often do you say yes to things that drain you simply because you feel obligated? Maybe it's staying late at work when you're already exhausted or agreeing to plans when you really need rest. Without clear boundaries, you risk overextending yourself and feeling resentful. And here's an important question. When was the last time you put your needs first without feeling guilty? Setting boundaries starts with recognizing that your time and energy are finite and valuable. It's about being honest with yourself and others about what you can and cannot do. For example, if a friend frequently calls to vent about their problems and it leaves you feeling emotionally spent, it's okay to say, "I care about you, but I need to take care of my own mental space right now." This doesn't mean you don't care. It means you're preserving your ability to show up fully when it truly counts. Denzel Washington's approach to remaining unbothered is rooted in the idea of not allowing others to control your emotions or dictate your responses. Setting boundaries is one of the key ways to achieve this level of composure. When you establish what is acceptable and what is not, you teach others how to treat you. As Seneca wisely put it, associate with people who are likely to improve you, and welcome those whom you are capable of improving. This means surrounding yourself with individuals who respect your boundaries and uplift you, rather than those who drain your spirit. Setting boundaries can be as simple as not answering work emails after a certain hour, or making time for activities that recharge you without feeling the need to justify it. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes and the easier it is to protect your energy. Boundaries are not just about saying no to others, they're also about saying yes to yourself. They allow you to focus on what truly matters and align your actions with your values. Consider a scenario where someone is constantly trying to involve you in gossip or negative conversations. By setting a clear boundary, such as saying, "I'd rather focus on positive discussions," you steer your interactions toward what aligns with your peace. The benefits of setting boundaries extend beyond protecting your energy. They also enhance your self-esteem. Every time you stand up for your needs, you reinforce the belief that your well-being matters. This self-respect encourages others to value your time and energy as well. However, setting boundaries isn't always easy. It can come with discomfort, especially if you're used to people-pleasing or fear disappointing others. But here's something to ponder. Whose approval are you sacrificing your peace for? And is it worth it? Often the fear of setting boundaries comes from worrying about how others will react. But those who truly respect and care for you will understand. And for those who don't, their response is a reflection of their own expectations, not your worth. Remember, boundaries are there to help you stay true to yourself and maintain your well-being, not to push people away but to invite the right kind of interactions that bring out the best in everyone involved. Let's relate this to a modern story. Picture a successful entrepreneur who works tirelessly to build his career while balancing family and personal life. He realized that without boundaries, his work was taking over his evenings, affecting his family time and mental health. So, he made a decision. No more work emails or calls after 7 p.m. At first, some clients pushed back, expecting the 24/7 availability they were used to. But over time, they adjusted and even respected him more for valuing his time. This boundary didn't just improve his relationships and personal peace. It also made him more effective during work hours because he was more rested and focused. How would your life change if you set similar boundaries for yourself? Setting boundaries is about choosing peace over chaos, valuing your energy and understanding that protecting your mental space is a form of self-love. Denzel Washington's concept of acting as if nothing bothers you isn't about ignoring challenges or being stoic for show. It's about knowing that your time and energy are precious and not everything deserves a reaction. Marcus Aurelius summed it up best. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. So, as you go forward, remember to set boundaries that support your growth and protect your peace. What boundaries will you set today to ensure that you stay true to yourself and unbothered by the noise around you? Lesson 10. Respond, don't react. Responding rather than reacting is a subtle yet powerful lesson that can transform the way you navigate life's challenges. Denzel Washington's philosophy of acting as if nothing bothers you aligns closely with this idea, teaching us to maintain control over our actions and emotions. But what does it truly mean to respond instead of react, and why is it so crucial? At its core, responding means taking a moment to assess a situation, gather your thoughts, and choose the most constructive course of action. Reacting, on the other hand, is immediate and often driven by emotion rather than reason. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This Stoic wisdom emphasizes that while we cannot control what happens to us, we can control how we choose to handle it. So how do you shift from reacting impulsively to responding thoughtfully? Think about a moment in your life when a sudden situation triggered an emotional reaction, perhaps an argument at work or a misunderstanding with a loved one. Did you respond with calm and clarity, or did you react in a way you later regretted? The difference between these two paths lies in taking a brief pause, which gives you the power to evaluate the situation and respond with intention. Developing this habit begins with self-awareness. When something stressful happens, your first instinct might be to react defensively or with anger. But if you take a breath and ask yourself, what outcome do I want from this interaction? You create space for a response that aligns with your values and goals. This shift doesn't happen overnight, but with practice, you become better at it. Seneca's words, "He who is brave is free," remind us that mastering this form of inner bravery grants us freedom from being controlled by our impulses. Let's explore how responding can look in modern life. Picture yourself receiving an email from a colleague that comes across as harsh or critical. Your immediate reaction might be to type a defensive reply or feel your blood pressure rise. But if you pause, take a deep breath, and consider the context, you might respond differently. Maybe you realize that the colleague is under stress, or that their words weren't intended to come across that way. Your response could be calm, seeking clarification, or suggesting a constructive solution. This not only preserves your peace but also elevates your interactions and reputation as someone who remains steady under pressure. Now think about your personal relationships. How many arguments could be diffused if you responded thoughtfully rather than reacting impulsively? When you choose to respond, you open the door to understanding and meaningful communication, which can strengthen relationships rather than strain them. Responding rather than reacting is also essential when dealing with criticism. In today's world, where feedback, both constructive and otherwise, is everywhere, learning to respond is a skill that can protect your mental peace. Denzel Washington has faced his share of public scrutiny, yet he's shown that maintaining composure is key to staying focused. Instead of reacting defensively, he has often let his work and character speak for themselves. You can do the same by recognizing that not all criticism deserves a reaction, and even when a response is warranted, it doesn't have to be immediate. Ask yourself, is this feedback helpful, or is it just noise? If it's helpful, consider it. If it's not, let it go. Responding thoughtfully means acknowledging what serves your growth and dismissing what doesn't. This practice helps you build resilience and maintain your inner calm. Developing the habit of responding rather than reacting can also improve your decision-making. When you react out of impulse, you're more likely to make choices that you might regret. However, responding gives you the time to consider your options and choose what aligns best with your long-term goals. For instance, if you receive unexpected news that disrupts your plans, reacting impulsively might lead you to make hasty decisions. But taking a moment to process the information allows you to evaluate your choices and respond in a way that supports your objectives. This mindset shift can apply to everything from professional setbacks to personal challenges, reinforcing the idea that you are in control of your path. One modern story that exemplifies the power of responding rather than reacting is the tale of a business leader who faced unexpected public criticism. Instead of reacting with immediate defensiveness, he chose to take a day to reflect, gather information, and craft a measured response that addressed the concerns thoughtfully. This approach not only protected his reputation, but also demonstrated his leadership and emotional intelligence. This is the power of response. It builds trust and showcases maturity. Ask yourself, how often do you take that moment to pause before replying to a stressful text or a challenging conversation? How would your life change if you consistently chose to respond instead of react? Responding rather than reacting is about mastering your emotions, preserving your peace, and choosing actions that align with your true self. It's about recognizing that while you cannot control every situation, you can control how you face it. As Marcus Aurelius said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." When you choose to respond with thoughtfulness and grace, you are cultivating a mindset that fosters strength, clarity, and resilience. The next time life tests you, remember that you have a choice. React impulsively and let the moment control you, or respond with intention and control the moment. What will you choose? As we wrap up, remember that real strength comes from within, from truly knowing yourself, understanding your values, and refusing to let external noise shake your foundation. Acting as if nothing bothers you isn't about pretending. It's about choosing what deserves your energy and what doesn't. It's about reclaiming control over your emotions and your destiny. So, as you navigate life's challenges and face moments designed to test you, pause, take a deep breath, and ask, is this worth my peace? Most of the time, you'll find it isn't. By letting go of what doesn't serve you, you're not just surviving. You're thriving, living with purpose, and embracing true inner peace. If this resonates with you, comment below with how you plan to apply these principles in your life, and share your experiences with us at Stoic in Your Life. Remember, your journey to growth and happiness begins with how you choose to respond to the world around you. Stay strong, stay intentional, and keep moving forward.